Hi, my name's iSPRK and I'm going to be teaching you how to make one of these today. This is a black DualSense controller, and I realize this video is going to be obsolete soon when PlayStation release an official black DualSense. But I just thought that this was really cool. It looks really nice. So to make this, you're going to need a few things. You're going to need one of these. If you want buttons like this, you're going to need one of these, or you're going to need to buy these buttons from eBay or something for like a 50p to £1, I don't know. Anyway, if you do want to take them out of these, there's loads of tutorials for ripping apart one of these things and just pulling the buttons out. Super easy. You're also going to need a few tools. You're going to need pliers if you want to take these out. You're going to need a small Phillips head screwdriver. You're probably going to need a spudger of some kind, although maybe a knife or a coin might do. You're also going to need black acrylic spray paint. I'll link to one that I have in the description and I show it later on in this video. And also you're going to need some kind of spray sealant to go over the spray paint once it's dry. On top of that, some tape like this would be helpful. It doesn't need to be anything special, just a little bit of tape that you're going to use to cover something up later on. I actually put way more effort into making this video than I have any of my other videos, because let's be honest, they were But anyway, if you don't mind subscribing, that'd be amazing, and I've got a lot more videos like this coming, so be on the lookout for that. Thank you. Okay, so starting off, one of these. Jeez. There we go. Does this not come with a USB-C? Seriously? 60 quid and no USB-C. Okay. Ooh. So shiny. First off, you're going to need to take one of the spudger tools and attempt to pry up this this black bit here. Okay, so I've never actually taken one of these apart before, and I've really struggled getting this off. I found that putting the spudger in this bit here seems to have been the best way to get started, and then slowly moving along the edges. Okay, that took a while. Now this piece is off, just put it off to the side for a minute. Okay, so next up, we need to remove R1 and L1. And I've heard that these can shoot off when you do it, so probably try and be careful. Oh. Okay, not being funny, that just shot all the way across the room. I can't even, that's gonna take a while to find. So these do come off quite easy, but like I just said, they fire right across the room, so be careful with that. Oh, no, it's still stuck. There it goes. So the next step is to go find your L1 and R1 buttons after they inevitably fly halfway across the world. Okay, now that that's done, we can finally take off the first 4 screws, which are here, here, and then here and here. Wow, that's marked already. You guys see that? Wow. Can I just say, it is so refreshing to be working with actual screws instead of those tiny scraps of metal that Nintendo put in their Joy-Cons. Anyway, moving on. So you want to get the spudger tool that you used before, or whatever you used, and kind of just, now that those 4 screws are gone, we can pry open the controller into 2 halves. Oh, we're getting somewhere. Okay. there we go. Inside of the PS5 controller. Okay, so looks like this bit is ready to be painted. I don't know if you might want to cover that up. I don't really. It's just a little bit of cushion. So put that aside for painting later. Okay, and at this point, first thing you should probably take out is the battery. I'm not sure if you can see that, but it's this connector here. So you just need to pull that out. Tweezers or some small pliers would probably help, but I can't find mine, so I'm just going to pull it out. There we go. So just put that off to the side as well. So next you need the same screwdriver as last time, and just remove this one screw in the middle here. So next up is this tiny little microphone. It's held into this, its ribbon cable is just plugged in here. So you just want to pull that out. There's no latch or anything, it just comes out really easily. And again, just put that to the side with the battery. So now you need to get this ribbon cable pulled out. It is stuck in there really well. Wow, that took me a long time. Okay, moving on. I'm also going to remove this ribbon cable, which should just pull up, I think. I hope. Okay, so we need to pull these cables out as well. Okay, so I've actually accidentally taken out both ends of this ribbon cable. So if you do that, it's not really a problem. Just put this end back into its slot down there. Next up, you want to remove this screw and this screw. Okay, and this here also needs to come out. There we go. Now I can pull this back through here. Now I think I've knocked these off by accident. So on yours, I'm assuming that these will still be on the joysticks. So if you want to, if they've come off, you can just pop those back on. You just need to remove these two screws right here. Now, fingers crossed, once we've done that, this whole thing should just lift up. Still trying to be careful with it though. Oh, okay, so there we go. We're a step closer to having just the shell by itself. Just put this somewhere else for now. Okay, now we've got this and this. We're almost there. Okay, so next up we can remove, these are the little covers that hold the buttons in place, so I'm going to remove all of these. This is weird, these controllers seem to have a second kind of rubbery layer. Okay, that's done. We're really getting there now. We need to remove the touchpad, which should just push through here. Oh, sorry, I've missed two buttons. The share button and the other one. Just place those to the side. Okay, and that's out. So just gonna put this here for a sec. And there are two screws to hold this in place. We just need to take those out. No, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if this board comes off or not, but obviously we don't want to get any paint on that, so I'm gonna be covering that up really tightly with some tape just over the back, and I'll just paint the front half of this. And finally, just two more things before we start painting this. We need to take off the rubber seal for the PlayStation button. Take the button out. And then we've also got this, I think it's a mic. Something tells me that this thing is really going to be a pain to get back in, but we'll worry about that when we get to it. Okay, that's out. Put it to the side with everything else. And I think we should be good to go. We've got this piece. We've got this piece. And finally, where have I put it? Oh, where have I put it? I've lost my touchpad. Oh, there it is. And this piece. These are the pieces that we're going to be painting. So to prepare for painting this, one of these things maybe? I mean, I don't know. What do I know? I'm just some dumb kid trying to make his way in the universe. Okay, that's definitely making a difference. I'm just using a scouring pad. It's doing something. So, in the past when I've painted controllers, I've used sandpaper, but I don't know if that's a bit extreme, and I also don't know if I have any. So, yeah. Okay, and after throwing your touchpad across the room like I just did, carry on doing this for a sec, and that's probably enough. I don't know. Okay, so as I previously mentioned, I'm gonna try and cover this with some tape. But let's be honest, I'm almost definitely gonna have broken this touchpad by the end of this video. Is this even safe? Can you do this? Guess we're gonna find out. So the idea is that I'm just trying to seal it all up as much as I can, so that no paint gets in there. But I also don't want the paint to cover the front of the touchpad, because then we won't be able to, I mean the tape, sorry, because then we won't be able to paint it, obviously. That's probably fine. Hooray for not knowing what we're doing. Okay, and now that we've got all of these ready, it's time to go outside. Okay, so if you didn't know this, I actually live in England and it's the middle of February, so safe to say I am freezing cold right now. Okay, here we go. Let's do this as quickly as we can. As you can see, I have a professional setup of this lovely white bin bag. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. See, this says chalkboard, which this isn't, which makes me think this is definitely the wrong stuff. But oh well. Also, I have this. I think you put this on afterwards, maybe before. Who knows? I just like the noise it makes when I shake it. Hell yeah. Test run. Oh. Nice. Ah, screw it. Another test run. Okay, I can do this. I can do this. Oh, let's hope I did that right. Not gonna lie, that look that it currently has, the whole faded kind of look, that's kind of nice. Touchpad, you're up next, buddy. Damn, see what I mean though? That faded look that's kind of nice. Okay, we're gonna give this last piece a go. I feel like I'm making so many mistakes right now, and there's like spray paint experts watching this just shaking their heads, so disappointed at me. Okay, I guess I'm just waiting a minute now. In the freezing cold. How fun. How long to wait in between coats of spray paint on plastic? Okay, well, it's been 5 minutes. I mean, doesn't seem, it's not coming off on my hand. That's got to be a good sign, right? I feel like I might have put a bit much on that time, but Oh well, let's put some more on, shall we? Well, it's been another 5 minutes. Seems pretty dry to me. This is gonna go on my thumb. Oh well, I'm sure it comes off, probably. Okay. Okay, so it actually started snowing, so I have had to move inside. It's been setting for about 20 minutes now, and there are definitely some areas that I think I've missed out a little bit. See here under the joystick, so I'm gonna give it maybe one more coat and see how it looks after that. It's been quite a while now. I've done many more coats, probably too many. It's looking quite nice though. I'm gonna have a go of the clear sealant stuff, because I think maybe that's a thing that helps, I don't know. So here's what I'm using, if you're curious. Okay, it does just seem to be the exact same as spray paint, so let's go for it. I am going to leave this overnight. I think you're meant to leave it for an hour, 40 to 60 minutes, I think. But I'm going to leave that overnight and maybe add another coat of the sealant stuff tomorrow, depending on how well it seems to have worked. Okay, so I am back inside with what turned out to be unexpectedly well. That sentence made no sense. What I'm trying to say is, I think it turned out kind of well. Of course, I've just realised I forgot to spray paint these buttons, for God's sake. And once you're at this stage, we can start putting everything back together. So we can move this and the touchpad out the way for a second. Oh, actually, if you put a piece of tape on the back like I did, I'm going to attempt to remove that now. Being careful with the ribbon cable, because obviously I don't want that to rip off. Okay, that all seems fine. No paint on there at all. So we're going to start off by putting this microphone back into the casing. I think it's a mic anyway. So this can honestly be a little bit tricky. You kind of just have to bear with it and just move it around until you've got the ribbon cable back through this hole here. Okay, so I finally got that in. It took me an embarrassingly long amount of time, I'm not going to lie. But anyway, moving on. So the first thing that we're going to put into this after the mic are the controller buttons. However, I'm not going to be using these ones. That's kind of the reason why I didn't spray paint them in the first place. I'm actually going to be using these DualShock 4 PlayStation 4 controller buttons, because they're already black, and it means we can keep these the shapes of the buttons on them. So if we're going to use these, we are actually going to need to modify them a tiny bit. So if I grab the triangle and the triangle here, these little clips on the edges, they're holding the buttons in place. They're slightly different on the PS4 than they are to the PS5 controller. So we're going to have to basically cut one of these ones to make them fit in the controller, and then they'll fit fine. Before we do that though, I'm just going to place this little piece of rubber back in. Okay, so I might have put that in the right way. Honestly, not 100% sure. Don't care that much. Moving on. So this is where we're going to need some kind of pliers or something similar. So just make sure that you line the button up the right way. You can flip the controller over to make sure of that if you want to. So you'll see now, if I place this in here, it doesn't go all the way down. So if I flip that over, the button is really loose in there. So after lining that up by turning it over and looking that it's the right way up, it is quite clear that this nib here at the top, I'm not sure if you can see that, that is just completely in the way, so we're going to have to try and cut that off. So I've never done this before, but oh, that was incredibly easy. I just twisted the button around while I had hold of it with the pliers. And now put it back in that same way as a minute ago, and it should fall back into place. Okay, so as it turns out, I cut off completely the wrong button. I think maybe it's this one that I'm meant to do. Fingers crossed that I just did the right one that time instead of being stupid. Once all of those buttons are in, flip this over and place this little rubber cushion back on top of the buttons. So for this, I'm also just going to use the D-pad from the DualShock 4, as it's almost identical. Okay, so my camera stopped recording, but I just put in this little mic piece here. Next up is the PS button. And finally are the two tiny little share and options buttons. So moving on, we need the touchpad and the part that we took the touchpad out of. So back to our Phillips screwdriver, we're just going to screw this back into place. So once we've got this assembled again, that can just go back into its place. So when you put on this next piece in, you need to make sure that this ribbon cable comes through the right way, and so does this one. Okay, so next we're moving this piece back into the shell. So really all you need to make sure is that this comes through the gap here, this ribbon cable. Make sure that you don't get trapped this one inside there. And the same for this ribbon cable and the one that I've got underneath here on this side, this one here. Okay, so to start with for this bit, I'm just gonna peel this back. And now we need to make sure that this ribbon cable comes through here. You might want to just bend it back a little bit. Not too much though, because you don't want it to snap. Just put a little crease in it maybe. And then just move this until it's in properly. And then let the rest of the controller fall into place. Now grab your screwdriver and these two little, the longer screws, the silver ones. And they go here and here. Now you're going to fold this green bit back in and make sure you don't trap this ribbon cable, this one, or this one. They all need to be on top of the green board. And now just kind of move the board around until the joysticks fall into place. You'll be able to feel it. Once you've done that, get two of the black screws that were holding this middle piece of the Joycon. This isn't a switch, that were holding the middle piece of the controller into place. Now that you've got them screws in, this could be a really good time to flip this over and make sure that your buttons click properly. Just a heads up, I'm not sure how important this is, but I ended up removing this thing that went here on the buttons because it was stopping my PS4 buttons from clicking in properly. So now I'm gonna put all the ribbon cables back into place. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So after this, you want to grab your battery, the casing that your battery was in, and the mic that was connected to it. A black screw that holds the battery in place. So first, just gonna maneuver this into place, and the screw just goes here. Now you'll notice that we need to plug in this little ribbon cable here. Next is the battery. Push it in and push the connector in. So once your battery's in place, you should be able to hold down your PS button and see if you've connected everything back up properly. And I've just accidentally turned on my PS5, which is super annoying. Now we're going to get the back piece of the controller. And you want to try and hook this back bit on first and then push the rest into place. Okay, so we're basically done and it looks amazing, I'm not gonna lie. So next we need to just put those 4 screws back in on the piece from the middle. So we need this, these 2 screws, and then your 2 triggers and the screws that were with those. Just make sure you put your triggers back in the right way. Because believe me, I've done that wrong many times. In fact, I literally just did it as I was saying don't do it, so yeah, be careful with that. They go back in quite easy, to be honest. Okay, so before we put this in, we need to put these 2 screws back in at the bottom. Once they're in, literally the last piece, we're done, put this back on. So this is actually turning out to be a bit trickier than I thought because these 2 bits need to actually go inside here. If we take a look at this one, where it's a bit more clear, you can see that they actually wedge in there a little bit, so just be patient with it and try your best. And now the grand finale, it's done. There's a few bits of white like that was on this table that have stuck to mine because it was not set properly, but I'll get those off. Last thing to do is test that everything works properly by connecting it to your PlayStation 5. Here it is next to the white controller which you saw at the start of the video. Really nice comparison there. And then on top of that, here it is next to a black PS4 DualShock 4 controller. This looks like an official thing from PlayStation. I don't want to toot my own horn too much, but I did fully expect to fail with this, but it actually turned out looking really nice. I imagine Sony's official version will look a lot similar to this. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please subscribe because I need validation from someone. Please subscribe. Yeah, that's it really. Thanks for watching.